Hello, I'm Tim.
And I'm Chris.
And we're a designer and engineer for the game. We've just got back from a trip to Hong Kong and China to visit our manufacturing partners and some of the factories we'll be using to make the game.
And we've put together this short video of some really interesting processes that we saw out there. We hope you enjoy it.
Rotate!
Rotate.
Okay, so here we are in the sample room. We're just about to be given a presentation, but I wanted to show you some of the cool stuff that these guys have made because I'm geeking out massively right now. All of the stuff for DC, the Pirates of the Caribbean, we've got a Kurt Cobain hiding up there. So they make all the Gundam stuff. All of the manufacture, all of the packaging, putting it all together, everything in-house. It's pretty ace. Godzilla. No idea what this is, but I kind of want it. So electronics, things with loads of articulation, loads of colour, loads of detail. And we're going to go and have a look at the factory very soon. So.
Okay, so this is one of the things that we've come all this way here to see. It's one of the injection moulding rooms. This is where the plastic granules go. And then through here they're heated, melted. So these are the presses, so the steel tool is in here. Grabbing, I'm just going to grab the part, and I guess it's washing it off in there. So we'll very likely use a similar process to this. This is the CNC room in the tooling department. So all of these are ginormous CNC machines, all cutting out the tooling from copper or steel. Something that's really nice. So we have a machine at Somerset House that has cutting bits that are 3mm radius. That's the smallest we can do. So we can cut 3mm corners. To give you an idea of what we're dealing with, if you look through here, I don't know if this is going to pick up. So the one on the right is 0.02mm diameter. It's a whole different beast.
Looking at me with two lightsabers, first of all.
Such a good.
But this is the PCB assembly line room. So I think this machine over here is doing quite big components that have to go through the board. And further over the back, that we'll see a bit later, there's the full surface mount technology where they put all the components onto the board, which is a really cool process. So this process is called IC bonding. This is where they've got actual piece of silicon and they're bonding tiny little copper wires to them. This is how you make stuff either really cost effectively or what actually goes inside the silicon chips that you can buy from stores like Maplin or whatever. So it's really amazing. It's like a sewing machine but for tiny electronics.
Hey Chris, what are we looking at? This is crazy.
Alright, so this is a really cool process where they're testing that the electronics are working, and they do that by powering it up, putting it together, and then if it's working, then it should spit out some electrostatic charge and move this sort of aluminium foil loop. So watch this. Magic. It works.
Alright, so this is tampo printing or pad printing. So at the back there, we have lots of little rubber balls. That's where the transfer is loaded. You see it pushing down there. So the little heads are picked up by the picker arm. I don't know if you can see my finger. And looking like 4 at a time, they're loaded into the machine. And then the eyes, in this case, are being applied in one shot. Really good for really small details with lots of very close colors, so the registration is very important.
Hi, so we are up quite early in the morning. We're heading over to another city in China to go on another early manufacturing visit. We're hopefully going to see a weigh scales factory, which is sort of a good blueprint for how we're going to make quite a big part of our product. We're also heading somewhere else, a more traditional toy factory after that. More adventure, more checking out factories.
we're in the testing lab here at TransTech, and Chris is going to explain the various processes.
Yeah.
What do we have first?
Over here we've got an electrostatic testing unit, which basically loads some static charge into the components that you make, and you're meant to, according to standard, make sure that it can withstand certain voltages and not shock the user and not shock the components that are inside and break.
Okay, what about this guy?
This is testing glass. Because some of the scales have glass surfaces and they need not to break if something drops on it, so they fire a massive ball of metal at the glass and make sure it doesn't shatter.
So the glass goes there, and then the ball gets dropped into the top there. The fridge.
Fridge is used for ambient temperature testing, and they sort of lower the temperature of components and then raise them by putting them in an oven, and this is to simulate when it gets shipped. The temperature can change quite wildly, and you don't want your product to have broken at the end of shipment when it gets to the customer.
60 degrees heat apparently in shipping containers, which is pretty warm.
And
then this guy?
these are quite important. This is lifetime testing, so they put the scales in here, and this mechanism will put some standard weight down on it over 1,000 times or something like that, and they can scale it how long the product will last in lifetime and make sure that that's all right, so that you have a scale that lasts the right amount of time.
And that's the tour.